Hello everybody, I'm Gast.
And I'm Nico, and today we will be reviewing and comparing IBLX Toy Cat's two ultra-hard survival maps.
Those being Ultra Hard Survival Scorched.
And Hexed.
To see what both succeed at, what one does better than the other.
And what both failed at.
Obviously, these are just our opinions and experiences with the maps. Both Scorched and Hexed take place in a roughly 1,000 by 1,000 block area of custom terrain.
Both have a nether and an end as well. The goal of both is to collect 16 colors of concrete while in a strange land.
In Scorched, you're in a burning lava-covered land with an emerald ore underside below that's filled with monsters. This is an interesting idea, but I feel like it's kind of been done before. The idea of a world covered in lava, that is. I even tried to do something like it many years ago, although it's not good. The emerald ore underside is an interesting idea and kind of makes it feel as if there are 4 dimensions to explore. The overworld, the nether, the end, and the emerald.
While in Hex, you find the land around you, as well as many of the structures have been morphed into hexagons, which look very interesting in Minecraft, given the stuff is still made out of blocks. So overall, the concept of Hex is much more unique. Although most of that land that was normally terrain is not used for any of the structures, and is instead just there for resources.
The story in Scorched is that you must collect all of the 16 colors of concrete. That's it. There's supposedly a hidden lore sign somewhere, although we never found it, but I feel as though a sign hidden somewhere isn't necessarily a good way of telling a story. Not that everything needs a story, but
the story in Hex is far more interesting. In Hex, you learn by signs and books scattered around structures nearby that a sandwich has cursed the land, making it forever night, and even stolen one of the dyes you need. The sandwich is also a custom boss that you fight, where Scorch has no custom mobs, making Hex far more interesting again. Both nethers are themed around the map themselves, meaning there are no normal Minecraft nethers.
In Scorched, the nether is the opposite of the overworld, a small island complete with shipwreck and surrounding water. Personally, I found the nether being the opposite of the overworld, just like how it is in vanilla Minecraft, although which is fiery and which is watery is reversed, to be really interesting. It also adds a bit of surprise to your first playthrough, or at least it would have if we hadn't just spoiled it.
Although, I mean, I'd imagine you play these maps already if you're watching a review of it. The nether in Hex is a bunch of hexagon-shaped holes, just like the overworld. Although these are smaller, making it more likely that you're going to fall off.
Staircase!
This is kind of bland because the idea of hexagons isn't really turned on its head to an extent that the idea is in Scorch.
The end in Scorched is very plain, however. You just walk around the end pillars, dodge a couple of charged creepers, get the die and leave. You don't even fight the Ender Dragon. The lava concept isn't used at all, unlike the Nether, which makes it even more bland.
The end in Hex is one big hexagon, although the island itself is a little rough around the edges. But at least you fight the dragon before towering up to get the die, instead of just walking up to it. You even have to get past some shoulders.
Overall, both ends are fairly uninteresting, although the one in Hexed is much better compared to the one in Scorched. Getting to the end, however, is a whole different story.
This is where stupidity really shines through. But in both maps, getting to the end was the least fun part of both maps.
In Scorched, we went to the aforementioned Emerald Land under the lava and hunted Endermen for roughly 40 minutes, since you need 4 Eyes of Ender to enter the end.
In Hex, you only need 1 Eye of Ender, but if you lose it, as we stupidly did, gas, there is no easy solution. It took us both 2 hours, and that's only because we went out of bounds and got lucky and immediately found a bastion with big ones to trade with. So the end is easier to get into in Hex unless you're stupid like us. Wing wong, bing bong, ding dong.
Although the structure that houses the end portal is far better in Scorched, as it's a giant end portal frame, whereas the one in Hexed is a small platform in the middle of nowhere just with endstone bricks around it.
You might ask why we put off talking about the overworld for so long, and that's because this is where Hex clearly comes out on top, and Scorch clearly fails.
In Scorched, you're put into a lava land, which as soon as you get a water bucket, goes from being an obstacle to a nuisance, and even if you don't use the water to traverse it as we did, apparently we did use the water bucket a little bit in episode 1 to travel after immediately getting it, but we decided against using it later since it made it way too easy to travel. It limits your exploration and means that you just have to grind blocks to get to anywhere new.
And a lot of structure is smaller things that is negligible, except for dice, which even the big structures don't have much in the way of challenge. Whereas in Hex, some dice are hidden in smaller structures, but quite a few are in dungeon-like structures. Not the small Minecraft-type dungeons, but real area catacomb-like dungeons.
In Hexed, some dyes are hidden in random structures, and some loot can be a bit strange, but overall, the structures themselves are better, both in design challenge and loot.
And many of the structures are decently lengthy undertakings. For example, to get the light gray dye, you have to beat a dropper.
But first you have to build up to sky height to get in, then beat the dropper, and mine your way out since bedrock blocks the inside from the outside. This, while slightly evil, is much more memorable than basically every structure in Scorched combined. Finally, I decided to take a look at the IBX Toycat subreddit, reddit.com/r/IBX Toycat, for those interested, to ask the people who've played both maps on the subreddit what they thought.
Surprisingly, a majority of people didn't really enjoy either, followed up by the people enjoying both equally.
We personally found this quite surprising, as we both enjoyed Hexed a lot more than Scorched, and would love to see whatever comes next, assuming something does, and that it continues to move more in the direction that Hexed moved from Scorched.
It can do that by being more coherent in its themes, builds, and story.
Also by hiding dyes in larger, more dungeon-like structures, although some could be hidden in smaller structures, as well as less dumb and objectively unworthy loot that is a reward for the structures. I'm not asking for enchanted diamond gear and apples right off the bat, but why is this okay?
Also, slightly more custom stuff.
We hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll hopefully see you in whatever Toycat and crew have planned for Hexed year.
I hate you.
Was that a real laugh or a fake laugh?
That was a real life. Real life?
A real live laugh. You heard it here live, people.
And I'm Nick.
I am close.
The nether is...
Okay, continue.
Although these are smaller, making it... Although...
I am close.
I'm going to kill you. Serious time. Okay. Although these are smaller, making it more likely that you're gonna...
What was that? Although these are smaller, making it more likely you're gonna fall off.
Do I sound like that?
Overall, both ends are fairly uninteresting, but Hexed... How do you say that? Eds. Hexed. Hexeds.
You might ask why we put... Whereas in Hex, some dyes are hidden in a smaller structure. Smaller.
I am close. I am far. Very far. I am far.
Oh my god.
Very far.
There is no easily solution. There is no
easily solution. I'm not asking for fully enchanted diamond gear or not. I'm not asking for fully enchanted diamond gear or enchanted. I'm not asking for enchanted diamond gear.
Alright, continue. Thank you. I did that first try, not gonna lie. And got lucky and immediately found a bastion with piglins to trade with. Trade.